So we'll go right to Mr. Barrett for 6 minutes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. To CBSA, on which date will you provide the outstanding documents that were ordered by this committee on the 17th of October?
You refer to, I believe, are the invoices?
Invoices and list of subcontractors.
Right. So we did provide a list of invoices, and my apologies, we are looking at about 500 invoices. So we're in the process of having those translated, and we can work with the clerk to see whether you would like those provided at once or as we finish the translation. In terms of subcontractors, we don't have that information. We just have information relating to those who held the contract directly with either CBSA or PSPC.
So CBSA does not know who the subcontractors were that worked on the ArriveCan app?
No, we have the relationship with the primary contractor, and again, mostly through PSPC, but we had some contracts directly ourselves.
Did ministers, staff, PCO, or any political exempt staff have any input with respect to the timeline for response to the document production request that was made by this committee?
No.
And, there was a lot of public interest following the incident that you mentioned with respect to ThinkOn receiving, being said to have received $1.2 million, saying that they did not receive it. That information was not provided in the House, the correction, and so the information that the minister signed off on stands in the House. So following that, we're a reasonable group of people. We gave a reasonable timeline for those documents, invoices, to be tabled at this committee. So it does raise questions when it's been 28 days since that happened. The government should know, CBSA should know where the $54 million was spent on this app, who got paid. So there's definitely questions on if this delay is the result of simply not knowing, more accounting errors. Has there been direction given in hopes that a scandal for government goes away, or at worst, that there's a cover-up happening because there's uncomfortable information for ministers or government included in there? Which of those scenarios best describes what we're dealing with in a 28-day delay in getting invoices, which should be pretty straightforward and don't even require translation because they can just be tabled, mostly containing total amounts and the name of the subcontractor?
So in terms of the error, and again, I apologize that CBSA is accountable for that error. I understand that the revised OPQ will be tabled, if not today, certainly this week. And it did come about by somebody contacting ThinkOn because it hadn't been caught in our system. And as I mentioned, the CFO has gone through all of the other information contained in the OPQ. So it was a transmittal error. ThinkOn did not receive a contract and was not paid for anything. It was an error in the coding, and that's how that came up.
So I remained, I guess, a bit mystified as to why the delay on providing what should be very straightforward information. I think that most people can keep track of if money goes out, that a receipt of payment is generated. The list of people getting paid should be quite easy to produce, and the committee did not suggest that the documents should come on October 31st. There was a requirement that they be here. Other departments, when they've had issues, have said, have asked for, can we extend until this date? Can we release the documents in tranches? At this point, it appears that there's an unwillingness to provide the information. So on what day can CBSA commit to provide the information that was due 2 weeks ago?
So in terms of the question, as I said, I believe that will be tabled. That information was also contained in the same information in the response to the motion.
But that's not my question, with all due respect, ma'am.
And the list of invoices has been provided. Is my understanding the list of invoices has been provided, but the actual translation of the 500 invoices will take time. And
do you have an estimate on when you'd be able to provide that? This week, this month, next month, before the end of this year?
So I don't have an estimate. We can get back to you, and we're pleased to provide the invoices as they are translated. So we can provide them in tranches as they are done. But the list of invoices themselves, I believe it's approximately 500, has been provided.
Okay. You know, I'm short on time that I see. I just can't stress enough that, you know, this is certainly a matter that's in the public interest. You know, we gave a very reasonable timeline to be to allow for CBSA to provide that information. It hinders the work of this committee. It causes Canadians concern when there are tens of millions of dollars with questions that have been raised, some arising out of amounts being paid to groups that didn't receive them, and some based on the entire amount of the project. So I do look forward to receiving an update on when we can expect all of the documents. Thank you.